失礼します。
Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Umineko When They Cry episode 2. This is gonna be a good one. This is the reuniting of Shannon and Beatrice. It's been a little bit since Beatrice had helped Shannon out, and vice versa, Shannon obviously going out of her way to break that mirror at the shrine as Beatrice requested in exchange for the help with getting closer to George, which all worked out for the both of them, and things are still going swimmingly for the both of them. So what will Beatrice say to Shannon? Because now she knows, because of Kanon, that this night, or tomorrow night, or whenever on this lovely weekend, people are going to die. They're going to get sacrificed. Here we go.
お食事の準備に参りました。
Shannon entered the VIP room, bowing her head and pushing the serving cart. The young woman by the window, gazing out into the supposedly empty darkness, was definitely that witch.
今度はシャノンか。懐かしいな。ほう、顔色がだいぶ良くなったではないか。カノンとは違うな。見違えたぞ。
ありがとうございます。
Pretty straight-faced you are. Shannon solemnly prepared dinner. There were actually several things that she wanted to ask the witch, but they were all jumbled up, and she didn't know where to start. Her heart was also jumbled up, and she didn't even understand her own emotions. So she can only do her job dispassionately, with everything still vague. However, the witch saw what was in her heart. You can't hide anything from a witch. Try as you
謝ら
want.
ぬぞ。わらわは魔女だからな。
何がでしょう。
ほうや、カノンから聞かされたであろう。
I mean, I even called it. Beatrice probably already knew.
そなたの恋路を助けたのは。
あなたが私に与えてくれたものは
Yeah,
変わ
at the
ら
end
な
of the
い。
day, I mean, whether there was malicious intent at the end of the day or not, I mean, Shannon got the happiness that she really desired.
だから、添い遂げられないと知りつつ蒔いた種であったとしても、私は恨んだりしません。
ふん。やはり家具というのは面白みのない。
Furniture, you say?
それを面白く調理するのがわらわの腕の見せ所よの。
私にベアトリーチェ様のお考えはわかりません。あなたは私たちなど足元にも及ばない大魔女で、その遠大な資料など想像するにも至りません。
Oh, yeah, there's no imagining those.
でも一つだけ言えることがある。
なんだ。
私に人間を教えてくれてありがとう。あなたが言った。私はもう家具じゃない。
Unless that was just Beatrice trying to make her feel better about herself, which is a possibility. Yeah, there it
黙
is.
れ家具。真の人間ならば婚約指輪を受け取ろうという日に告げられた死の宣告に嘆き狂いて踊り出すだろう。なのにそなたはなんだ。達観し全てを受け入れたような顔つきではないか。実に拍子抜けだぞ。
いいえ、私は家具じゃない。
黙れ家具。
黙りません。
Wow, I can't believe what I'm witnessing here.
家具ではありませんから。
わらわの命令が聞けぬというか。
家具なら命令に従います。でも人間は命令に従うかどうかを自分で決めます。だから私はあなたの命令に従わない。
Guys, I'm starting to see how she, if we want to believe this this story direction, how Shannon may have gotten killed on the first night rather than the second day for that second twilight with the lovers.
お夕食の準備が整いました。どうぞ。
うん、なかなかうまそうではないか。
Oh, I don't know.
ゴーダが黄金鏡へたどり着くことがあれば、わらわの料理長に任命してやってもよかろう。
カノン君に聞きました。私にジョージさんの婚約を断らせれば、
Yeah, don't believe a promise from the
私を生贄にしない
witch.
なんて約束をしたとか。
Don't do that. Like, obviously she has different motives. Obviously she's wicked and evil to an extent. Don't believe her anymore. You've gotten, as much as you need out of her. Now back away.
したぞ。そなたは第二の番にうってつけの生贄候補だったのだがな。カノンがそれを許せと泣いて叫ぶので、寛大に聞き入れてやったのよ。
Yeah, I don't know about the crying and screaming part, but he definitely got on his hands and knees and started. Did he actually kiss her feet? I'm trying to remember.
そなたが婚約を破棄すればとの条件付きでな。わらわのなんと寛大なことよ。
なんてバカな条件。そしてなんてバカな脅迫。そんなものでカノン君をいじめ抜いたというの。
ほう、わかるのか。
Apparently, Shunun had seen through it. She had apparently guessed at how the witch had bullied and humiliated Kanun with that horrible promise as bait.
絨毯に這いつくばら
Yeah,
せ、
there we go.
わらわの靴にキスをさせてやったぞ。それだけではない。他にどのような恥ずかしめを与えたか。
Oh no.
聞きたいか。
She made him lick her feet. Shunun silently shook her head.
あなたという人を私はようやく理解しました。
Have you really?
あなたは人をいじめ、惑わせ、困らせて、それを楽しみ、糧にしている。だから、あなたに抵抗する唯一の方法が、これであると確信した。
なんだ。
あなたなんか知らない。
Oh.
私は、私に与えられた運命を全うする。
Yeah, you go,
だ
girl.
から、あなたを面白がらせたりしない。
あなたなんか。
The witch's features twisted in hatred for just an instant. It disappeared immediately, but the expression that briefly rose to her face was rare for the witch, whose malicious smile usually never faded for a second.
そういう抗い方もあるか。面白い。気に入った。殺してやる。お前の思い人と一緒にな。
それがあなたの決められた運命ならば、ご随意に、私はそれに怯えたり、逆らったりしません。
She's just gonna walk the path that she's
こ
on.
れから起こる苛烈な運命が悪意なんて感じない。あなたが吹き込もうと信じない。
Yeah, again, you go, girl.
ほう、家具をやめたくせに死を恐れぬとはな。
Honestly, I think that's a little bit of a front. To be human is to have fear. Genuine fear of, death. Being killed, murdered. That is pretty damn normal for a regular-ass person.
それがわらわを退屈させると思っているようだが、それは大きな誤解だぞ。そなたが本当に最後の瞬間までそれを貫けるか。ますます興味が湧いた。
私は悔しい。どうしてあなたは人の姿をして、私たちの前に現れ、人の言葉で語り、私たちを嘲笑うのか。
Because it was funny.
私たちの前に現れず、
That's actually literally the
運命を予
reason.
告しなかったなら、私たちは最後の一瞬まで精一杯生きられるのに。
それが魔女というものよ。貴様らの運命を食い物に、工事の存在として定時の存在の上に君臨する。そなたらの運命など、所詮はかけら。両手で碗を作ればいくらでも救える。
Yeah, can we back up on that fragments part? I mean, fragments seem to be a very key term when it comes to the When They Cry series.
わらわに飼われた肉牛どもが何をほざこうとも、わらわの食卓を楽しませる結果に変わりはせぬのに同じこと。
無力な私たちには、あなたの儀式にも運命にも抗うことなどできない。しかしあなたに、今すぐ不愉快な思いをさせることはできる。
Oh yeah? How do you plan on doing that?
ほう、それは何か。
今すぐここを立ち去ることです。あなたの言葉に答えることは、すべてあなたを楽しませている。あなたの問いかけに答えないことが、あなたへ唯一できる抵抗です。
Basically, pretending as if she doesn't exist.
なるほど、なるほど。忘れるなよ。自らが口にした言葉。
Damn, I love this.
それで
I
は
love this back and
失礼い
forth.
たします。ご用がありましたら
I don't think
お
it's
呼び
really
く
going
だ
to
さい。
accomplish anything, but it is really set in stone how Shunun's character is at this stage compared to how we saw her back then. Shunun gave a reserved bow and faced away. With that gesture, maybe she really did take a shot back at the witch, just as Beatrice had said. Because when the witch called out again, she sounded a little more quick-tempered than she had before.
カノンはわらわに感謝したぞ。
Oh yeah, she's trying to do just one little bit of bait.
そなたは感謝せぬのか。安息の日をわらわが与えることを。
家具なら安息の日を喜びましょう。ですが、私は人間ですので、だから、あなたに感謝することはありません。ご用はそれだけですか？
Damn, I would not even, have dignified that with a response.
ジョージから指輪をもらうつもりであろう。受け取れば。わらわがカノンと交わしたそなたを生贄に選ばないという約束を破棄すること。
まだご用があるなら他のものを来させますので。
Damn.
それでは失礼いたします。
Yeah, you tell her. A flat-out interruption. Shunun still hadn't answered her, and the sound of the door closing came instead of an answer. Shunun's resistance probably struck far more deeply into the witch than Shunun herself thought, because an expression of hatred once again rose to Beatrice's face. She had made Conan submit, even though he hadn't even ensnared or hadn't been ensnared until the end, whereas Shunun, who had been so easily ensnared before, refused to submit this time.
なんだ。
Oh yeah, what do you see?
やはりこれは面白いことではないか。わらわもまだまだ若いか。これだから1000年は生き飽きぬのよ。
Plus, Beatrice still looks good. I think she's still young for 1,000 years old. Maybe. I don't know. We can all agree Beatrice is a good-looking woman, though, right? We're all on the same page there, right? Ah, yes. Dinner. I've been also looking forward to this because dinner didn't really have anything going on for it in episode 1, but now we definitely have, like, a topic of discussion for dinner, but it's always after dinner as well. And I'm sure if nothing happens during the meal, it'll definitely be after where things get a little crazy yet again. And this was the most fabulous part of the family conference. We're missing a word in there. Dinner. In the past, when Kinzo had been serious about the conference, he had taken everyone's yearly gathering for dinner very seriously, because anything embarrassing that occurred during the dinner would cause the deepest shame for him as the host. He had given Natsuhi stern orders to avoid embarrassments at all costs. Because of that, she and Kraus eventually hired Gohda, who had confidence in his cooking abilities. Thanks to that, they became able to serve wonderful dinners they could be confident in. But by that time, Kinzo had closed himself up in his study and never appeared for dinner. Maybe you could call that ironic. When the main dish for tonight, calf steak, was set out, Gohda began to describe it proudly, further stimulating everyone's appetites. And getting those brownie points, trying to show off.
こちらフランス以外の酒を使うのは少し邪道ではないかという気もするね。旦那様、本日は年に一度の親族会議でございます。
Yeah, fuck it, we gotta
普
break
段
the
は遠方
rules.
にお住まいの皆様が
料理も薬も効果は2倍になるっちゅうわけやな。
Oh, is that so, Hideyoshi?
元の料理のうまさも2倍。
そうかね。今日の料理をフランス風だと気づいていない者もいるんじゃないかと思ってね。
Yeah, maybe it was Kraus that was trying to show off with his knowledge, and maybe he was also trying to push a little towards Gohda.
エヴァは先ほど
They could have both
バターを
benefited,
使
who
わないの
knows?
が美徳と言ったが、それはスペイン風だ。確かに国境を接してはいるがね。
そういう意味で言ったんじゃないわよ。話の一部分だけ抜き出して勝手に加工しないでくれるかしら。
とっても美味しいソースね。
Oh, you're in a good mood, Rosa.
ゴーダさんは本当に素晴らしいわ。
Yeah, that'll definitely change, by the
お
way.
褒めに預かり大変光栄です。 これもすべて奥様の日頃のご指導のおかげでございます。
いえ、すべてゴーダのアイディアです。私はレシピを聞き、承認しただけです。
As Gohda continues to get the brownie points, it looked like the siblings quickly got into a loud argument about the sauce. But for the most part, dinner proceeded peacefully. So it's after dinner that I think things are going to get a little nutty, just like in episode 1. However, a certain question they desperately wanted to ask burned inside each of them. It was about that visitor, the 19th person, the Golden Witch. In actuality, Ava and Rudolph and the rest were very much on their guards during this meal. If the mystery guest was ever going to be introduced, this dinner table would be the most appropriate place to do it. However, no place was set at the dinner table for the witch. The family conference would begin in earnest after the meal, and previous experiences told them that it might last until deep into the night. However, they couldn't imagine why such a person, should be kept hidden until that late, if they were going to be introduced in the end anyway. Perfect song title for what's about to come up here, right? So Ava and Rudolph and the rest were starting to feel a certain suspicion. Perhaps this guest was unknown even to Kraus. If this wasn't an assassin called by Kraus to give him an advantage in the inheritance problem, then maybe they should speak frankly to Kraus beforehand, creating a common front to resist anything disadvantageous, Jesus Christ, to the four siblings. I got tongue twisted there so hard. Even my teeth are all, just chattering away right now. If she was Kinzo's assassin, whose purpose was to keep the inheritance from being handed over to the four siblings, the enmity between Kraus and the other siblings can only become a weak point that benefited the enemy.
それではごゆっくりお楽しみください。
When he finished explaining the reasoning behind the table's setting and the cooking, Gohda tried to leave the room, but Kirie had called him to a stop with a small voice.
はい、キリエ様、何か。
ごめんなさい。今日はお客様がいらっしゃってると思ったんだけど、晩餐にはお見えにならないのかしら。
She had planned on saying it nonchalantly, but unfortunately, it reached the ears of Natsuhi, who was sitting in the next seat over. And of course, she's not gonna know anything. Kraus doesn't know anything. It seemed that Natsuhi had heard it as, even though the guests are here, why hasn't the host come to dinner? Which is fucking wrong, but in other words, that Kirie had asked whether Kinzo was going to join them for dinner.
当主様は体調が優れられませんので、お部屋で食事をとると仰せです。主人が初めにそう説明いたしましたが。
ごめんなさい。そうじゃないの。
Natsuhi's reaction instantly told Kirie that this unknown visitor was also unknown to Kraus and his wife, which meant, on the chessboard inside Kirie's mind, she could hear the clattering of the pieces as they rearranged themselves.
客?
Battler, who had been sitting next to Natsuhi, seemed to have heard Kirie's words without misunderstanding them. Thinking it strange that someone else would be invited to today's family conference, he spoke up incredulously. Jesus Christ, I am struggling with the big words today. I need to go back to school. And thanks to that, the uncomfortable feeling building in the siblings' chests suddenly exploded. Everyone looked at Gohda at the same time. Judging by their reactions, that actually really fucking sucks for Gohda. It was clear that no one here had invited that mystery woman. For an instant, Gohda was startled to find everyone's gazes gathered on him. That is so unfortunate. He was basically a pick here, and that really does stink. But because of his naturally vain personality, this actually gave him a feeling of superiority. Therefore, he answered in an extremely calm and graceful manner.
はい。貴賓室でお一人で食事を取られたいとのことで、そちらへお運びしております。
That extremely graceful and reasonable response of Gohda's made it obvious to everyone that a 19th person, a visitor, existed. The huge difference and a big topic point in episode 1 was the 19th person of whether there was one or not, or if there was a killer among the 18. Here in this made-up story, quote-unquote, yeah, we just have that 19th person, and we already know that she's going to be doing that deed.
貴賓室？客？何の？誰の話ですか？
Sarah was getting a drink of water. Natsuhi's words echoed the question that everyone who didn't know about the appearance of the Golden Witch was thinking. For a while, Gohda was disoriented, caught completely off guard by this sudden interrogation. Again, I feel really bad for Gohda. Like, he really was just at wrong place, wrong time sort of situation. This was a guest who had been treated with such deep respect. He hadn't imagined that Kraus and his wife might not even know about her, especially since they're the main family. They're a part of that main line who literally live here, and there's a guest who's now staying in the VIP room. Yeah, if you lived in a nice fancy place with your family members and like you're in charge of that house or whatever, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, there's somebody that's, spending the night here and they've been here for hours. I'm sure you would be a little upset by that, just completely caught off guard, thrown aback, knowing that somebody has been here in your home.
そのベアトリーチェ様でございます。
ベアトリーチェ、ほらほら、ベアトリーチェ来てるでしょ。
Maria had been telling the other cousins over and over again that she had met Beatrice that day. The cousins had answered flippantly, but they hadn't believed. So their eyes grew wide.
すまねえ。俺はてっきりマリアの冗談だと思ってたぜ。本当にいたんだな。
That easy, huh?
ベアトリーチェって、あの黄金のベアトリーチェなのかよ。
マリアはいるってずっと言ってる。誰も信じてない。
Well, we're all gonna believe soon.
ごめんね、マリアちゃん。そういうつもりじゃないんだよ。
After learning that everyone had doubted Beatrice's existence, Maria, who had been in a good mood all day, completely lost her temper. I don't know if she was necessarily in a good mood all day. Very long day, after all. George, who sat in the next seat over, tried frantically to calm Maria.
ゴーダ、それもディナーの何かの余興なのかね。
Oh, if only, Kraus, if only.
なかなかの味な演出だ。
兄貴、三文芝居はやめようぜ。兄貴が呼んだんだろ。
呼ぶ？誰よ？どこから？
兄さん、はっきりさせましょう。あれは誰？まさか本当に肖像画のベアトリーチェだと言うんじゃないでしょうね。
Oh yeah, here it all comes.
私にはお前たちが何を言っているのかさっぱりだ。ゴーダ、これは本当に冗談ではないのだな。 私はその。
Yeah, again, really fucking terrible spot for Gohda. I actually do feel bad for him here.
源氏さんからそのように指示を受けただけでして、その。
Like, his shitty attitude and all that aside, like, I actually do feel kind of bad for him here.
源氏を呼びなさい。今すぐ。
When Natsuhi yelled, Gohda sped out into the hallway. The sound of the door being thrown open was the spark that suddenly set the dinner table ablaze. Yeah, there goes the nice
じゃ
dinner.
あ兄貴も知らないってんだな。呼んだのは誰だ？親父ってことか？
私には何のことかわからんね。お前たちは私が裏で糸を引いていると信じているようだが、それは大きな誤解だ。
クラス兄さん、落ち着いてえな。わしらはもう腹の探り合いをすべき段階にないで。もし兄さんも知らない怪人物だっちゅうんなら、これはとんでもない話になるんやで。
Yeah, let's just believe the man and move on to the next step here of this big old mystery, right?
秀吉さん、言葉を少し慎みませんか？主人は親族会議に不要な人間を招いたりはしません。
まったくだ。お前たちは何を言っているのかね。肖像画の魔女が額縁を抜け出して現れたとでも言うのかね。
Honestly, something like that.
実際にその魔女様に会ったという人間がいるわけでもなかろうが。
私、あったわ。
Ava and Rudolph nodded at Rose's proclamation.
マリアもあった。クラウスおじさん信じて。ママを信じて。
The brief tension was broken, and Maria also started to make a ruckus. By now, the room was thoroughly wrapped in chaos.
何が何だかさっぱりだぜ。つまりなんだ？ じい様に黄金を授けた魔女様が今年の親族会議にはスペシャルゲストとして登場ってわけかよ。
しかし本当にローザおばさんの見間違いってことじゃねえの？
I do appreciate that Battler, still being Battler, is trying to deny the existence of the witch. Continue to use logic to the very end. Very, very in his character right there.
ローザおばさん、間違いなくなんですか？
ええ、私とマリアは会って話もしてる。私は会ったの。
Bro, you have got to stop doing that twitching, like, look there. It is so bothersome.
あれは間違いなく魔女だった。信じて。私の見間違いとか錯覚とか、あれは。
Yeah, honestly, I'm sure she's been thinking about that all day, completely unable to truly piece together if what she saw was real or fiction. But when you see something that's so hard to explain right before your eyes, it does kind of mess with the mind, doesn't it? In the instant before the typhoon arrived, Rosa definitely met a witch in the rose garden. But the scene had been so hard to accept as truth that the more she spoke of it like this, the less she understood what it was that she had encountered. Ironically, she was losing her composure, or since she was losing her composure, the more frantically she tried to cling to her claim, the more confused and hazy the thing that she was describing became. Because of that, it only took a single, calmly spoken sentence to confirm the nature of what she was describing beyond doubt.
私もあったわ。
Yep, another grown-up's actual statement here.
挨拶とはとても言えないけれど、一応言葉も交わしてる。ローザさんの見間違いとかじゃ断じてないわ。
キリエさん、それマジかよ。
ええ。でも彼女は私に名乗らなかった。だから彼女がベアトリーチェであると断定はできない。
But she looked very familiar, didn't she? Yep.
でも、主観的で恐縮なんだけど、私は玄関ホールで彼女に会ったから、肖像画と顔を見比べることができた。私は第一印象で、彼女こそがこの肖像画の主に違いないって思ったわ。あくまでも主観よ。
そんなことはありえません。第一、その女はどこからやってきたというのですか？
Yeah, that is the big first question there,
今日の
actually.
船は
Rosa
皆さ
wondered
んの
the
送
same
迎のため
thing.
の便が往復しただけです。その船に乗っていたのですか？
それを言われると弱いな。確かにそんなご婦人と一緒に下船した記憶はない。
あら、そう？私たちの乗ってきた船以外に船はないってどうして証明できるの？
Yeah, there could have been another one.
できないわ。来なかったは証明できない。
道理だな。来たは証明できる。来たのを見たやつが見たと言えばいい。しかし、来ないは証明できないぜ。全員が来ない、見てないと言ったところで、全員が見てないところでこっそり来たことを否定はできない。つまり、悪魔の証明ってやつだ。
Oh, I was just gonna call it Boatgate. It would be simple to prove that devils exist. All you have to do is meet a devil. But it's impossible to prove that devils don't exist. Just by saying that no one has ever met a devil, well, you can't deny the possibility that they're hiding away somewhere humans can't go. You can't deny the existence of aliens for exactly the same reason. Until humanity searches the whole of space and can show perfectly that aliens don't exist, you can't be sure that they don't exist. And it's definitely impossible for us to ever check the entirety of space for the existence of aliens. Therefore, while there may be a number of ways to prove that aliens do exist, it will always be impossible to show proof that denies their existence.
となれば、僕たちが乗ってきた船以外の船で来たかどうかなんて、
Well, hold that
議論
thought,
しても
George.
無駄な問題ということになるね。
George, shut the fuck up for a moment. So, can we apply that same sort of idea to witches? The idea that it's difficult to prove that witches don't exist. That was the whole thing in episode 1 whenever you think about it. Or was it? Because in episode 1, we had all of these events that were very difficult to properly, explain. Events that should not have been able to happen. And sure, you can just jump onto the idea that, oh yep, witches definitely do exist because it's so easy to just connect those dots. Battler kind of came in with the opposite, didn't he? Did he? I'm actually trying to think back of the things that he kind of argued with and how he continued to stand his ground all the way through the end, not to the end, through the fucking end. He's still doing it. So his goal is to continue to, you know, try and prove that witches don't exist. Even now. Even right now, while in, you know, fucking Tea Party purgatory, he's standing there with a goddamn witch. And she's telling her perspective of the story, her rendition of the story.
整理しよう。今この島には後宮家18人以外にもう一人客がいる。そしてそいつは兄貴も夏日姉さんも知らない客だってんだな。
知りません。何の話だかもわかりません。
お前は少し黙っていなさい。頭痛に触る。
Yeah, she'll create other headaches too for everybody else.
私にはお前たちが何の話をしているのかさっきからさっぱりだ。
じゃあ答えは一つしかないわ。お父様が呼んだのよ。今日の親族会議のために。
God damn, whenever she yells,
親族会議
it hurts.
だから何のために
I'm so sorry to the voice actor. Like, she's really good with what she does, but goddamn, her voice, it's gotten fucked up for me with Higurashi.
そんなの知らないわよ。兄さんが知ってたらそれを問い詰めようって思ってたのよ。
Yes, anger.
予算か。
Yell at each other more. Start throwing food at each other too.
お父様の遺産について何かの権利を主張する気でいるのよ。
Oh, joke's on all y'all. That inheritance is all hers and then some.
当主様に愛人などと汚らわしいものなどおりません。
Oh, she's getting flustered.
お前は黙っていると言っている。
お父様にそんなものがいるわけがありません。尊い後宮の血が愛人ごときに。
I'm pretty sure Natsuki's about to get kicked away from
数
dinner.
人が見たと自称しているに過ぎません。
She's gonna lose her eating
幻
privileges.
想妄想白チュームに決まっています。あるいはこれも夫を陥れるための皆さんの何らかの芝居なのですか。何の芝居だってのよ。芝居だって言うならそっちでしょうが。
よせよ姉貴。ちょいと暴力的な言い方だが、夏日さんの言う通りではある。キリエは姿を見たが姉貴もだ。だがローザは見た。しかしってことはいるってこと。
There it is. There it fucking is. Exists. It means, okay, so in the sense here, how I'm seeing it is that she's here but she isn't. We don't know. It's a fucking box with the goddamn cat. It's the Schrödinger's cat. Kind of, not really, but yeah, okay, so everybody says that she's here, but you have not seen her. There's no evidence that she's necessarily here other than word of mouth. So she is here. She's a person that exists. But because you have yet to meet her, because you have yet to see that proof that she is indeed here other than word of mouth, she doesn't exist. Is that kind of what we have going on here? And what we can kind of stretch back to episode 1 with the idea that all the servants were saying, oh yeah, Beatrice is here, definitely. She exists. Meaning, not really, but also yes. Ah, fuck, man. God, fuck this game, man.
いるで直ちに決着だ。悪魔の証明の逆パターンってわけだな。それに俺も会いたいんだよ。そして一体当家に何の御用かと直接問いただしたい。
Oh, she has quite a bit of business here with us, honestly. With this whole family and then some.
六軒島へ何の御用かぜひお尋ねしたいものだ。
白々しいこと言わないで。狙いは一つよ。お父様の遺産を狙ってるのよ。相続問題に明るい弁護士に今後の作戦を練らせるべきよ。お母様と同格の権利を愛人が主張した場合、私たちの取り分はかっきり半分さらわれることになる。
I really just gotta love how Ava is completely losing her cool here. She is just, she's out.
ちょっとみんな待って。源氏さんがもうじき来るわ。彼は何でも知ってる。きっと私たちの疑問に答えてくれるわ。
And everybody trusts Genji,
それ
so...
までそういう話はなしにしましょう。
We also have that letter with Rosa.
さあ子供たち、悪いけれど大人はちょっと込み入った話をしないといけないの。ゲストハウスへ戻っていなさい。
Rosa yelled at the children, slightly overcome with emotion. The children didn't understand why they were suddenly being yelled at this time, but Ava and the rest realized it too late. They were talking so bluntly about the filthy topic of the inheritance right in front of the children. Of course, they wouldn't want their children to remain, so they all immediately agreed with Rose's plan.
そうやな。ローザさんの言う通りや。ジョージ、いとこみんなでゲストハウスに戻ってるんや。いとこ同士仲良く遊ぶんやで。
Did we even get to eat?
ジョージ、
Like at all?
言われた通りになさい。いとこみんなを連れて今すぐ出ていくのよ。
ちょっと待ってよ母さん。僕たちはまだ食事も終えていない。
No, okay, they're still eating. I bet they barely like dug in.
デザートもまだ来てない。デザートはゴーダさんにゲストハウスに運ばせます。だから出て行きなさい。
ジェシカ、ここから先は大人の話し合いです。行きなさい。
わかったよ。
Man, I don't agree with
ま
this.
だ食いかけだってのによ。
ってことは俺だけ例外ってことはないよな。
理解してくれてありがとう、バトラ君。でもあなたラッキーよ。
どうして？
私も出て行けるなら出て行きたいもん。
違いねえぜ。大人は大人で遺産をめぐって楽しい一家団らんをお楽しみくださいってんだ。
You know, her character's gotta be growing on me there. I did not even fucking realize Nanjo was here. Jesus Christ.
どうやら今夜は私の出番はなさそうだ。
Nanjo quietly rose to his feet. From his seat in the farthest corner, he had been calmly watching the whole discussion without butting in. Surely that reaction of his was very adult, just what you would expect of a calm old gentleman. When Nanjo rose from his seat, it ended up encouraging the others who were supposed to leave. The children noisily rose from their seats, and as they hurried into the hallway, the servants returned.
遅くなって申し訳ございません。源氏をお呼びいたしました。
お屋敷の中の戸締まりの確認に行っておりましたもので申し訳ございません。
さあ、子供たちはゲストハウスへ。ゴーダさん、申し訳ないのだけれど、子供たちの分のデザートをゲストハウスへ運んでくれるかしら。
は、よろしいのですか?
It seemed Gohda wasn't amused to see the dinner he'd worked so hard on interrupted like this. No, honestly, man, I feel bad for the guy. This is all, you know, he's really here for, is for the fucking cooking. That's his specialty. That's why he's, you know, been employed, obviously. And now, this big event, once a year, big-ass event, where he gets to show off, get the brownie points and everything, really show why he's here. Well, it's been ruined. All that hard work, gone. I feel for that. Even so, I don't really like the guy. I fucking feel for this guy. He sent Natsuhi a look as though asking her whether that was really okay.
ローザさんの言う通りにするように。
ベアトリーチェの話を聞かせてくれないかい？ぜひ魔女の話を聞きたいんだ。
Honestly, not a bad way to convince her. Plus, we might be able to gain some information. By we, I mean them. I think we're really informed enough here on the fucking topic, especially from Maria's perspective.
感動するぜ。
本当に子持ちじゃねえのかよ。手慣れすぎだぜ。
Oh, one day he will. I think that's a part of his plan, right? George's words had completely restored Maria's good mood, and now she's took the initiative, telling the others to head on over to the guest house. It looked like Gohda didn't like being kicked out himself, but he couldn't disobey Natsuhi, so he left the room with Battler and the rest, closing the door.
ご用は何でしょうか、皆様。
あるわ。たっぷりと。それもみんな。誰から質問するかくじ引きが欲しいくらいよ。
だが誰が一番のくじを引こうとも最初にする質問は同じだと思うね。
Oh my god, just get on with it.
違いねえな。源氏さん。
There we go.
正直に答えてくれ。今貴賓室にいるベアトリーチェってのは何者なんだ。
Aw, man. God damn it, game. Why you gotta do me like that? I want to see what's gonna go down there. Oh man, okay. 10 p.m. The day is almost over, and the deaths are almost here. Hideyoshi's claim that advertising doubled the taste was apparently right. After being chased out to the guest house, the kids and Nanjo had gathered in the cousin's room and were eating the cake that Kumasawa had brought for dessert. It was both wonderful and high class, topped with lavish amounts of cream and decorated deliciously with fruits. But delicious as it was, it didn't taste quite as good for some reason.
ゴーダさんの脳書きがないと味って随分落ちるんだな。
脳書きを求めようにも熊沢のばあちゃんに聞いた日にゃこのケーキの原料もサバってことになっちまうぜ。
She literally would.
本当？サバからケーキってできる？
ええ、このケーキもサバの絞り汁に小麦粉と卵を混ぜて焼き上げると。
God damn this woman.
それが本当ならすごいね。お父さんの店の新メニューにサバケーキとか登場するかもしれないよ。
サバって栄養満点でヘルシーっぽいイメージがあるしよ。女性とかお年寄りに人気が出たりしてな。俺は食わねえけどよ。
女はそんなゲテモノは食わねえぜ。
年寄りも遠慮したいところですな。
美味しいんですけどね。
Kumasawa was really cheering up the mood with her classic mackerel jokes, but the sound of the downpouring rain kept turning their attention towards the mystery guest. In the end, they showered Maria with questions again, since she was the only person here to have met Beatrice. And they're gonna get a bunch of different answers and a whole bunch of weird shit.
あの話が本当だったとはね。
その口ぶりだとマリアが魔女に会ってたって話は信じてなかったまでにも初耳じゃねってことらしいな。
ああ、夢見がちなお年頃のよくあるおとぎ話くらいに思ってたぜ。
いる！ベアトリーチェはいる！
There it is again.
毎年親族会議に来るたびにマリアは会って一緒に遊んでた。
そうですね。ベアトリーチェ様は普段はお姿をお見せになりませんけど、心が綺麗で素直な方の前にはひょっこり姿を現していたずらをすることもあるそうですからね。
Not really sure about the clean hearts part, but okay. Definitely unsure about all that. Beatrice referred to that character in the fairy tale about the Rokkenjima witch. To keep Kinzo in a good mood, the family and servants acted as though they believed in the witch of his delusions. That's how Rokkenjima's fairy tale, or maybe ghost story, had come into being. To the family members who knew that backstory, the fairy tale of the Golden Witch wasn't something to be taken too seriously. However, they were never able to say that out loud in front of Kinzo. Because of that, the legend of the witch carried a lot more weight to someone like young Maria, who didn't know the story of how it had come into being. That's why Maria believed in the legend of the witch. She accepted it entirely. That was only natural for an imaginative girl who believed in witches, so people had avoided saying things that would betray her dream. On the contrary, they had worked together to say and do things that would help liven up her dreams without her knowing.
だからマリアちゃんがベアトリーチェにもらったお菓子と言って僕らに見せびらかすことがあっても、多分誰かがそういうことにしてマリアちゃんの手提げの中にこっそり飴玉でも忍ばせたのだろうって思ってた。
Yes, subtly.
私も昔に2度か3度こっそりお菓子を置いてあげたことがあります。おそらく熊沢さんにも、いや使用人の皆さんや後宮家の皆さんも一度や二度はあるんじゃないでしょうか。
無邪気な小さい子が喜ぶなら口裏を合わせてお菓子を置いてくこともあるか。ってことはジョージの兄貴なんかだいぶやってそうだな。
I wouldn't be surprised.
まあね。
Uh-huh, alright guy. It'd probably be boorish to admit to such a thing out loud. George admitted it while being extremely wary that Maria didn't find out.
つまり
大人はせめて子供の綺麗な夢を守ってやりたいと思うものです。
That's actually a really good way of putting it. I mean, yeah, the world does fucking suck. And yeah, there's no way around it. We all know the cruel realities that is of life. There's no way around it anymore. But when we were younger, yeah, you believe in shit like Santa Claus and all that. Looking back on it, yeah, you can apply logic to everything and, oh, yeah, no, all that shit can, now makes complete, perfect fucking sense. Back then as a kid, you were protected. You were given a completely different reality than the one that your parents or your family members were living in because they wanted you to be able to enjoy life as much as you could, really to the fullest.
いますとも。ベアトリーチェ様はおりますよ。この前もですね、サバを干して紅茶の出汁に使おうとしておりましたら。
Again with the mackerel.
まあつまりこういう調子だったはずなんだけどね。
つまりマリアを除けば誰も信じてなかったはずの魔女ってわけだ。
And now they're real.
少し言葉が足りないね。信じてなかったんじゃない。信じさせてあげようとしたんだ。
So this is about not betraying a child's innocence. But Santa doesn't exist in reality. If you don't want kids to be all disappointed when they first learn the truth, you'd be better off not showing them that the dream in the first place. Is the fact that I think like this proof that... Wait, hold on, let me start over. Is the fact that I think like this proof that I'm still a long way from becoming a full adult? The true nature of the Rokkenjima witch was finally starting taking shape. God damn it, game. Was finally starting to take shape in Battler's mind. Fuck. However, their current situation overrode this understanding. And in fact, it completely overturned its very premise.
ベアトリーチェと名乗る女性の存在を僕たちは誰も知らなかった。でも、だからといってそれがベアトリーチェが実在する可能性を否定できるわけじゃない。
That is a lot more difficult than proving that something exists.
南條先生はじい様との付き合いが長いですよね。
I mean, again, in episode 1, that was basically the whole idea. And that's very difficult to do because you need to find logic that proves basically how everybody died. Otherwise, well, there's a witch. So here, in this case, all somebody needs to do on the opposite side of it all to prove that she does exist is, hey, come downstairs for dinner. I know you really don't want to, but I need to show you that show everyone that you actually exist. There you go. Mission accomplished. But now that she's been brought up, that's been basically proving that she doesn't exist has become such a difficult task, maybe even more difficult than in episode 1.
一時期親族会議でクラウスさんたちに随分と聞かれた話ですな。その昔、金蔵さんにベアトリーチェという愛人がいて、その隠し子がいるのではないかという話です。
なるほどな。親父たちは遺産分配で頭がいっぱいだ。そこに愛人の娘なんてのが現れれば、面倒なことになるのは火を見るより明らかってわけだ。
I mean, if we want to keep things in the realm of shit making sense and we can just pretend all that Shannon George and Counon Jessica shit didn't happen in the beginning, and we can just kind of say, okay, this person who's been dropped into this story is possibly an illegitimate child or a secret child of Kinzo's and the mysterious Beatrice, and now they're here to, create problems with the inheritance discussion. If we want to keep things in the realm of shit making sense, there we go. But we know more. We know a whole lot more.
じい様にベアトリーチェという愛人はいたんすか？
おりました。
Oh?
いえ、私は会ったことはありませんぞ。
Oh.
ですが、そういう女性と交際があったと金蔵さんから聞かされたことはありました。
That is kind of how the story goes. We've heard of this before as well.
お亡くなりになられたそうで。
That there really was someone.
とベアトリーチェの間に子供はいなかったろうと私たちは自然に考えました。
That or Kinzo really is a nut. As he always appears to be.
ついつい面白そうな方に脚色しちまうぜ。妙なドラマの見過ぎだな。
Normally that might have come off as a light joke, but the joke had landed after an uninvited mystery guest calling herself Beatrice had marched in on the day of the family conference, where the bloody argument that the inheritance had become took center stage. There was no way Battler's joke would be welcomed with laughter, so it was a really big help when Nanjo laughed brightly to calm everyone down. Nanjo's a really great guy, honestly. A solid third party in all of this.
それに台風のおかげで島から逃げ出すこともできない。つまりとんでもない事件を起こそうにもどうにもならねえってことさ。
Oh, you would think.
同感だ
You'd
ね。
honestly fucking think.
退路の断たれた袋小路で、しかも十分怪しまれているような状況下で、そんな恐ろしい復讐劇なんかとてもできるとは思わないね。
Though they do put up or bring up a very good point here. Okay, let's say 6 people do die tonight. We know that there's somebody staying in that VIP room, that there is now a potential 19th person here who goes by the name of Beatrice the Golden Witch. So instead of pointing fingers at each other like we did in episode 1, we're all going to be pointing our fingers at one person from the get-go, and that's going to be the 19th guest.
でしょうな。ならば
大丈夫だよ、ジェシカちゃん。僕たちが想像するような物騒なことは何も起きないよ。
遺産をめぐっておじさんたちがバトルロイヤルってのが物騒なことじゃねえってんならな。
Oh, how the fucking tides will get really high and crash down on us all here.
そうだよな。父さんもルドルフおじさんも体格いいし、エヴァおばさんなんか格闘技習ってんでしょ。
Fucking Ava's trained in being goddamn annoying. Jessica didn't say it out loud, but she'd vaguely noticed that her own father stood in opposition to all the other siblings on the inheritance issue. They usually played nice in front of the children, but when that pretense was lifted away, like it had been at dinner, the result would be uproar. I've already been fucking up so much this recording session. Let's not. After realizing this, it was only natural for Jessica to be frightened at that thought. That her parents might get caught up in some kind of trouble and become human sacrifices for something terrifying. Well, yeah. And you know, fun fact with me being completely unable to pronounce shit. God damn it, Battler. You know, I've brought this up before, but me with being unable to properly pronounce shit at times, I used to be way worse whenever I had started doing Let's Plays of visual novels almost 10 years ago. Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad and probably unwatchable for a lot of people back then. I definitely got my fair share of being made fun of back then, but I think my pronunciation abilities have gotten a whole lot better, being able to read and understand what the fuck is going on and properly commentate along the way. Anyways, Battler, what the fuck, dude? Can we go back on that? Why'd you say that? Oh my god, bro. Don't even start, Maria. The sudden creepy laugh made all of them jump. It even gave me a little tickle on the neck. And when they realized the strange laugh was coming from Maria, they were shocked again.
そうなんだ。それがバトラの認識なんだね。
何かだよ。気色悪い声で笑うんじゃねえぜ。
バトラはベアトリーチェの存在をとりあえずは認めてる。19人目の客人程度には認めてる。でもそこまでだね。19人目のベアトリーチェが魔女であることは認めてないね。
That's like basically where he will always stop. He will not accept the existence of bullshit that just cannot actually exist in the real world.
突然何を言い出すかと思えば。
魔女の存在を否定することにはならないね。
God damn it, this fucking devil's proof bullshit. I mean, she's right. Yeah, she's fucking right.
確かにそうだ。魔女がいねえを証明することはできない。しかし、証明はできなくても主張はできる。魔女はいねえという俺の主張だ。
どうして魔女はいないなんて証明できないくせに主張できるの？
そんなものはいねえからだよ。
Oh, that was easy. Well, roll credits.
それで QED？ 何の証拠も根拠もなく証明終了？無知が棚上げする時の典型例。
Damn, if I could get away with doing my fucking proofs like that in university, because yes, for computer science, because logic was a part of the whole process and algorithms and shit, yeah, you had to do proofs. Yeah, I mean, if I could just fucking say, yep, I claim that it's like this, and just fucking end it like that, oh man, I would have done way better on my midterms. That's all I'm saying.
となりゃ答えは一つだぜ、マリア。魔女側の反証しかねえってことだろう。これまた悪魔の証明だ。連れてくりゃ話は早い。この場合は、ベアトリーチェと名乗るご婦人が、お星様がキラキラ飛び散るような華麗な魔法をステッキででも披露して、人間には不可能なことをやってみせればいい。
Oh, she will. She will give her a few hours.
ほら、お二人とも落ち着いてくださいな。
Kumasawa noticed that the atmosphere between them was getting worse and tried to calm them. It seemed as though Battler quickly realized that he wasn't acting like an adult, but Maria's expression didn't loosen. As she laughed creepily, she kept staring at Battler.
マリアももうよせよ。機嫌直そうぜ。な。
Nope. Just more really cringe laughter.
それが望みなら、ベアトリーチェはきっと見せてくれるよ。人間には不可能なこと。そしたらバトラも信じるんだよね。ベアトリーチェのこと。
おう、そいつを拝ましてくれたら、信じてやろうじゃねえか。
魔女とバトラの議論のチェスだね。チェックメイトされたら、バトラは魔女を信じる。
Now, I feel like Battler will just do this, you know, that... I want to say it's like a childish thing, but it's where, okay, you lose, but he leads on to something different, you know? Like, okay, sure, magic existed, but, you know, so on and so forth. Therefore, I cannot believe in witches or some shit.
おお、洒落た例えだぜ。魔女が魔法を見せる。俺のキングにチェックをかける。俺は人間でも何らかの手段で再現可能だとイチャモンをつけてキングを逃がす。それができなきゃチェックメイトってのは確かにいい例えだ。
I mean, if he closes his eyes and he doesn't witness Beatrice doing anything, well, then he can continue to claim as he has been. That is also a possibility.
チェスというのは相手も自分も同じ動きの駒を持ってる。だから相手の手も読める。でもね、相手の駒がバトラの駒よりさらに不思議な動きができることを魔女のはずないからと、ベアトリーチェの動かす駒の動きを自分とどうせ同じだと決めつけている。
Now, if she does have magic, she gets to break the goddamn rules of chess.
でもね、
Gonna hopscotch some of those pieces over in ways that she shouldn't be able
バトラ
to.
のチェスの相手は人間じゃない。魔女なの。人間にはさせない駒の動きができる。バトラは今、そこの認識を間違えているの。バトラは、キリエおばさんのチェス版思考って好きでしょ？
Yeah, it worked for a while back in episode 1 until things got really, hard to follow.
チェス版思考の一番最初の前提が崩れてる。
おお、そう来るかよ。
そなたは魔女とのチェスに勝てぬ。
Thank you, game, I think. Wait, so... sorry, forgive my ignorance when it comes to Japanese, but Sonata being used for you in that statement, what's the difference? Why is a different term being used here? Does it create more suspense? Is it like a formal thing, informal thing? I don't know. I'm actually kind of curious there. They gave me the fan subs like translator note there. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's this scene. I guess George was able to slip on out if this is indeed a scene between Shannon and him. But we are out of time here. I just want to check and see if there's anything new in the tips. I don't think so. Nope. And I don't think there's any updates to any of the characters because nobody has died yet. There's no new character that has popped up here. We just have this new Beatrice entry where she looks very interesting. And we'll leave it at that. But okay, nothing new. We'll wrap it up there. All right. Well, there you have it. A really good recording session. I would argue this one was fun. I was really looking forward to this one for two reasons. Dinner time, which was as crazy as I really wanted it to be. I wanted to see more. And then there was also the Shannon X Beatrice scene. And that one was also beautiful. I didn't know what to really expect, but I knew it was going to go down, and it went down. So that was really good. But I think some interesting topics of discussion, some things for me to think about going forward. And you guys will let me know in the comments if I'm just fucking dumb, right? Anyways, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.